All right, everybody, welcome back to the Learn to DJ interview series. This week we have Reefbum with us. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you for just a minute, kind of introduce yourself, give us an idea of how you got your start DJing, how long you've been DJing, and just the kind of intro stuff for me.
Awesome. Well, yeah, like you said, my name is Reefbum. I'm over in Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been DJing for about, I want to say like about a year and a half. I want to say 6 months before that, I was just playing around in my room, kind of trying to figure out my sound, figure out the basics. After that, I decided to slowly start jumping on some open decks around the triangle here in North Carolina. And yeah, that definitely confirmed my love for this. Just being able to get a room moving, um, lead the crowd, and yeah, I've definitely fallen in love with it. So now I'm getting a little bit more serious with it. Picking up a couple gigs here and there. And yeah, just seeing where this takes me.
Cool. So, where are you finding gigs when you're picking up gigs? Is that something that you're doing kind of all the connecting and looking for yourself?
Yeah, so honestly, it's all about networking. That's something that I've learned just from going to open decks. Something that I've learned in this community, at least here in North Carolina, is that no matter how big you are, how small you are, you're constantly trying to work on your craft, constantly trying to hit those open decks, and be alongside big players, small players. Everyone just kind of works together. So we all just kind of follow each other on social media. They do posts about different gigs, things like that. So that way you're able to know who to reach out to, who to send your mix to, and kind of get a little bit more connected, and slowly doors just open up.
Cool. And so we talked to, just for a few minutes before we kind of got rolling here. You said that there really wasn't a scene for a long time where you are.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because I wasn't as involved, it just wasn't popping up on my social media as much. But from what I've been able to see from yeah, from other people's profiles, them getting started, the marketing at different bars and stuff like that, I would say that besides big EDM clubs in the area, there weren't as many open decks or as many opportunities available before 2016. But yeah, I would say ever since 2016, it's just been growing and growing, and yeah, things are getting pretty big over here in this area.
Cool. So uh, for me getting into DJing, it was kind of one of those things where I was on the dance floor looking in, saying, "Man, I got to figure out how to do that." Is that the same kind of?
Exactly how it was for me. Um, I want to say, yeah, like a year and a half ago, um, I was over at one of our big clubs here in Durham, the Fruit, and they were having an event, and I was there, and I saw a DJ, shout out Amoeba. Uh, she was over there doing her thing, and yeah, it just kind of connected with me. Um, it kind of made me realize how much of an impact this has on people, how much it connects people on the dance floor, and how there's more of a purpose than just playing music to a room, but instead to just get lost in that connectivity that we can all have.
That's nice. So, what was your first step once you made that decision of I got to figure out how to do this? What was the first step for you in working towards that?
Well, I would say the first step was definitely getting in hella debt. But I wanted to be in a place where I felt comfortable touching CDJs, touching different standard equipment at different clubs and bars. So I didn't want to just start at a small little deck that was
Yeah.
going to be different. Um, and little did I know, so I went with something a little bit bigger, a Denon DJ MCX 8000,
Okay.
which, as in the eyes of somebody that doesn't know much, they're pretty big. They have a lot of buttons. In my head, I was like, oh, this is going to be exactly the same as a CDJ or something like that. And little did I know that Denon it's pretty different. Pretty different. I would say that I probably would have done a little bit better if I had gotten a smaller Pioneer deck than to start on Denon. But at least it allowed me to get started, try out, feel the layout, and eventually I made the jump and got my XDJ over here.
Nice.
And that definitely is what made me finally take that jump and start touching those CDJs and stuff, since it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. And so because Pioneer's kind of the club standard that's at all these open decks and anywhere you actually go to be playing, that's why you wanted to get to that.
Exactly. Yeah. Just be able to know that whatever I'm practicing, whatever I'm putting together at my place, it's exactly how it's going to sound whenever I'm playing it somewhere else.
Yeah. And you don't have to find the button that does what you're looking for
Exactly.
in a
Or
panic.
formatting things in the beginning. There were some times where like I was putting everything together on Serato instead of Record Box. So a lot of different formatting things, songs that wouldn't work on CDJs, things like that. So now I don't have to worry about that at all.
Nice. So you mentioned you were setting stuff up in Serato instead of Record Box. When you go to play somewhere that has open decks, or just like you're playing a gig somewhere and they have their own decks, is that what they're all running? Is Record Box?
Well, normally from what I've seen, the different places here, nobody really uses a laptop. Everybody just brings their own flash drive with whatever music they have on there, which is formatted on Record Box.
Yeah.
Um, but for example, on the Denon, the native software that's used with Denon, it's not Record Box. It's escapes my name. Serato is just basically the music management, but the format of the actual flash drive, it was, I don't remember, but it was something else where, yeah, if you were to connect it to a CDJ, it just wouldn't read it at all.
Interesting.
Um, so, but so yeah, basically it's only flash drives. There's no laptops anywhere. Uh, so yeah.
Because there's just a little screen on the front of the deck, right, that shows your track or whatever.
Yeah, so with CDJs, it's really great where you can get the wave of a song on the left CDJ, but you can actually, because both CDJs are connected, you can see a smaller wave of the other CDJ, so that you can kind of match them together, have any beat matching that you need to do. You can see all your hot cues on both screens for both CDJ. Um, so yeah, it's pretty easy to read.
Nice.
I felt pretty comfortable with having the two little screens, since on the Denon that I started with, that's how it was. There were two screens on top of uh, on each side of the deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working with an FLX4, so
Okay.
entry level as it can get.
Hey,
So
honestly, I wish I would have started with that.
I think it's good that I've started with that. Uh, After like a week, I was saying, man, I wish I had something that had more buttons because I feel like I'm running out of stuff.
Yeah,
But if I really take a step back and look at myself DJing, there's still so much to learn on that board that I'm not ready yet.
absolutely. There's so much that I learn every single time that I'm playing. I'm like, wait, maybe this effect would be a little bit better on this. And yeah, just trying stuff out. It never ends.
Yeah. When you have an idea like that of like, I wonder if this would work, is that something that you'll be bold enough to try while you're playing live for some other people's, or is that something you're going to try and say, I got to remember this so I can try it when I get home?
Most likely that second one,
Yeah.
because I'm slowly starting out. I'm trying to build that reputation, build that that sense that I'm somebody that a business can trust, and that the crowd is always going to love. I haven't been that open in trying things out on the fly.
Yeah.
Uh, Once I
Very
have a presentation, once people know what I can do, and have that consistency just out there, then I feel like I would be a lot more open. But for now, anytime that I'm playing somewhere, I'm gonna prepare for that. I'm gonna
yeah.
prepare for that. I'm gonna uh, try out all the different effects at home to see what fits perfectly and exactly how I want it. And that's
Yeah.
exactly how I'm gonna play it out in public. And whenever I realize, oh, maybe I want to try this effect, I want to try this connection right here, I'll just take a mental note and I'll try it at home and see if I go that route, see if I don't go that route, and change it up for the next time that I perform somewhere else.
Nice. Kind of play around with it and then see whether you like it any better or not.
Exactly. Yeah, I just want to make sure that whenever I play somewhere, it's banging and it's perfect and exactly how I want it.
Nice. Yeah. And I think that's important.
Yeah, for sure.
So you play a lot of tech house is what I see from your Instagram bio. Is that
Yeah,
right?
we're a tech house and a little bit of bass house too. But yeah, I love tech house so much, especially
Yeah.
kind of on the heavier side of tech house, more gnarly, more heavy sounds. Yeah, I love stuff like that.
Cool. Who would you say is like a couple of your favorite artists?
Right now, I do kind of stepping off a little bit of the heavy side and getting to more like kind of experimental sounds that I haven't heard with a little bit of, I would say, a little bit of a Latin vibe to the tech house. I've really been enjoying Abo. Uh, yeah, he's been hitting the right notes, hitting the right things, and obviously he's from Colombia, so he's representing, and
Nice.
I gotta support that.
Yeah, that's cool. So when you go play a gig, where are you finding your music to play? Is it stuff that you've sat there and made beforehand, or is it you just have a certain set of songs that maybe the whoever you're playing for has requested?
So basically, that's the one good thing about these open decks around the triangle. They don't really request anything. It's basically just go with the vibe, go with the flow, go with what you enjoy. Once you start getting to those paid gigs, that's when they kind of ask you to keep a certain sound.
Yeah.
Uh, but with the open decks, I started with Beatport. Beatport is where I would constantly every day just listen to music, listen through all the different top 100s of all the different genres and kind of see which ones I like, which ones I didn't, and started putting them in different playlists. And my setup, I, I kind of started noticing that a lot of the Beatport music was music that was already vetted and had gone through a lot of different affirmations of basically music that had been liked a lot for a while. Not necessarily music that had just come out and it was fresh um, and stuff like that. So I've been kind of stepping away from Beatport a little bit and moving more into SoundCloud. There's so many different producers, so many different people making music all around the country that um, it's basically a countless library that I can, especially with the algorithm of SoundCloud, whenever you start creating those playlists, let's say that I have a playlist that I name Heavy Tech House. The more heavy tech house of a specific sound that I keep adding to that playlist, the more suggestions I get at the bottom of that playlist that kind of match that sound.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been my number one way of finding new music is through those suggestions that SoundCloud gives me for each one of my playlists. And it's been a great way to find music that I go and I play at open decks and people say, "Where did you find this?"
That
Um,
that's a good question to get asked.
yeah, for sure. I definitely love SoundCloud at the moment.
Cool. Yeah, I've been kind of trying to figure out where's a good spot. And so Like if you're playing some big names music, you don't have any issues with that when you're going to play a gig or something, right? Because you're playing a gig.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Yeah,
not.
no, there's no issue with like copyright or anything like that. Yeah, I feel like we're all just in one big community, and we're all just me playing somebody else's music is just me supporting their talent,
Yeah,
supporting their creation. So yeah, it's been great.
cool. So I guess I have some questions about open decks since you seem to have some experience and I have zero experience with an open deck. I've never been. I'm gonna go eventually, but I'm not quite there yet.
Uh-huh.
So, like, if you wanted to walk in there and play, some hard and fast techno, but whoever's before and after you wants to play house, does that matter?
I would say not. It really depends on the open decks and the location of where they are. There's some open decks that are at pretty I wouldn't say upscale, but a little bit on the fancier side of the bar.
Yeah.
Dim lights, but with a fancy side, a lot of uh elderly people at the bar, things like that. So at those open decks, I've learned that the best thing to play is maybe some Afro house, some things like that to kind of keep the kind of mellow vibe in the
Yeah.
background. But at my first time there, I had no idea that that was the vibe of the bar. So I just played some tech house that I had prepared, and it was perfectly fine, and people loved it. Um, but then there's other open decks where they're kind of put together by music production companies where they handle a lot of different genres. So at those open decks, it's just a free for all. Anybody can just play whatever they want, and as long as you're good with transitioning that last person's song into the first song of your set, you're good to go. It might be a little bit rocky if they're ending their set at like something with 150 BPM and you're starting out at 128, but as long as you get through that transition and you start your set, everybody will enjoy it and everybody will support it.
Okay, that's kind of good to know that it's not really a hard pressed rule, but kind of dependent on the vibe of the
Yeah,
location of wherever you're at.
exactly. And they definitely let you know in the advertisement for the open decks. Like there's a bar here in the Triangle called the Wicked Witch, and they put a lot of events together that are like goth night, things like that. So at that bar, whenever they advertise their open decks, they specify the kind of genres that they want to hit. A lot of like heavy techno, things like that. So in the flyers, in the marketing for these open decks, they'll definitely let you know if they're looking for something specific.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one up in Austin I've got an invite to when I can find the time to get up there.
Oh yeah, dude, you
So,
gotta give it a try. It's
dude, I'm going to. I can't wait because I'm so excited to touch a board that's got more than, you know, three little knobs there or whatever.
oh yeah, it's gonna be a blast. I love it.
Yeah. So I was looking at your Instagram and I noticed the post about bass vibes that
Yeah.
you had put up. And maybe this is just my shitty memory of looking through there real quick. Is that a tech house event or is that a little more of like some experimental bass type stuff?
Yeah, so I would say that it's a little bit heavier than that normally. It's some bass music, a little bit of dubstep in there. Um, we're gonna see how it goes. I threw a couple kind of whoop dubstep sounds in there, but as you know, my specialty is tech house, so I try to stay as heavy as possible with my tech house, and we'll see how it goes. But I might have to convince some people to for that vibe switch at the end of the night because I'm the last person playing, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And so there's two people coming before you that are mainly wubs, if you will, and then you're gonna
Um,
try and that'd be a cool
yeah, that's
combo, I think.
I would say, yeah, I would say that's probably what they're gonna go with from what I've heard from them. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting, especially since after my set, we're gonna be doing a B3B, which I've never done before. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
With the songs that I'm gonna have in my tool belt if they're just throwing dubstep at me and I gotta match it with some tech house. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
I I guess it was well, by the time this is going up, it'll probably have been 2, maybe 3 weeks. But I just tried downloading some free dubstep and trying to play some of that on my Monday practice session. That's
Nice.
probably the worst I've ever done in terms of turning that board on and making it sound good.
Oh man,
That's hard to make that sound
for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's
right.
tricky. It's tricky. I definitely got to get more practice with dubstep and things that are kind of that route. But yeah, no, I totally understand. Definitely a little bit more tricky, for sure.
Yeah, it was tricky for me to find stuff that actually went together. I mean, granted, I didn't know any of these songs either. I was kind of just okay. I got some new music. Let's see what it all sounds like. But hard to find ways to fit them together, and that's I've spent the least amount of time in front of a dubstep stage, also. So I've done
Yeah.
the least studying there in that department.
Yeah, no, I absolutely feel you. I'm very picky on whenever I'm mixing things. I want it to sound flawless in that mix from song to song. So it's really difficult because every song is so different and that it's really difficult to kind of make that smooth transition from song to song. Um, I'm even specific where whenever I'm putting a set together, if the vibe is correct, the kind of like the highs and the mids are matched perfectly. And the BPM matches perfectly. But I noticed that this song has a different type of bass than this one. Like this one's a little bit of a heavier kind of thumping bass, and this one is lighter. I can't get myself to be perfectly happy enough to mix together in a set. It has to be perfect. So I totally understand how difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that pulled off the right way, that would be a really cool sound to have going together. Is
Yeah.
excuse me, some heavy tech house and some little bit of dubstep. I think that'd be a really good vibe going back and forth.
Yeah, I got a little bit. I got a few songs in my set that I'm going to be playing at bass vibe, so we'll see how it goes.
Nice. And I did listen to some of your mixes on your SoundCloud last
Okay,
night when I was editing and a little bit this morning.
awesome.
And I like it. I like the vibe, and I like how you said it's a little bit maybe harder than the general definition for people getting tech house.
Yeah, maybe a little bit heavier than like Fisher, even though Fisher is my shit. But yeah, no, I would say that my sound is definitely a little bit heavier than that. When a lot of people think tech house, they think of yeah, Fisher, um, maybe a little bit of Chris Lake. But yeah, I try to stay on that heavy side.
Yeah. Well, I like the sound for sure.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I guess, uploading on SoundCloud, are those I think I saw those are all just mixes, but I wanted to ask anyway. Do you do any kind of production or anything like that?
So not right now. Whenever I like to get into something, I become obsessed with it. And there's so much to learn and so much. It's a very deep hole once you
Yeah.
jump to production. And I know that I would spend hours and hours and hours figuring everything out and kind of going that route. So right now I'm just kind of focusing on my skill of mixing, of being a DJ. But at some point it's calling to me. At some point I'll definitely go that route and start
There you
producing
go.
my own track for sure.
Nice. Yeah, and you're 100% right that it's a lot to jump into.
Absolutely.
That's I'm kind of doing it backwards from you. I'm coming from production and now learning to DJ.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's a lot of stuff to learn, and it took a long time to get where anything sounded clean enough to be like, okay, I would put that out and say
Yeah,
that that's a clean mix on everything. So
yeah,
that, yeah, it takes a long time, especially to learn, because you can learn what some of the tools do in 10 minutes, but then learning how to apply each tool situationally is what takes
yeah,
just forever.
yes. Yeah, I've heard from some people here in my community over here. Shout out Red Wild. He's a great producer. He has taught me how intense it could be to put together a whole album of different sounds, different techniques, and even just having the hardware to put it all together. Um, it's a lot of money for sure.
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
but
It's
yeah, at some point I'll make that jump.
Yeah, it is a lot of money, but I will say that when I started, I was completely broke, so I just went with whatever free stuff I could find. Because I told myself before I spend a bunch of money on stuff, I got to see if I actually even enjoy
Exactly.
all the work this is. So there are free resources out there you can start with before you dump some money into a bunch of software and see
Yeah,
if you really like it.
I'll definitely go that route for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It you can get pretty close if everything's used appropriately. You can get pretty close to what I feel like you can get out of actual spend some money on some software, but it takes some time.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. What else do I have on here? Boom. Ooh. So when you are going to do a gig or a set or a show or whatever, do you have like a routine for beforehand or some kind of superstition or ritual, maybe something you do to prepare?
Really, man. The only thing that I really do is just go through what I've put together enough so that I feel comfortable and I feel happy with what I've done. Um, yeah, no, not really. I just kind of jump in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you like before, let's say you have a gig on Friday, do you beforehand try to plan out, here's all the tracks that I want to play for Friday, or do you kind of have a library and you kind of have an idea of what will go with what and then kind of base it off of feel once you get there?
See, that's where if I'm at an open decks where I've been going there for a while, once in a while I'd like to just bring a library together and kind of see where the vibe of the room is for that night. But I want to say like 90% of the time, because of how picky I am, I want it to be exactly how I want it. Uh, like whenever I'm putting two songs together, I'm trying out those intros and exits throughout like both songs throughout the entire song to see exactly where is the perfect way, the perfect time to enter that next song, exit this song with which effects, depending on if I'm exiting on more of a low end, I might exit with some reverb, or I might be exiting the song on the drop of the next song. So I'm gonna exit with more echo. I just kind of play around with every aspect of the song, have that prepared, have that ready to go, so that I know that whenever I'm playing it, uh, I'm putting those two songs together the best way that I can put them together.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, which is 95% of the time, I'm gonna go over there with a playlist already made for that night. Songs organized, all the hot cues in place, and yep, just ready to kill it.
Cool. So for hot cues, because it is something that I have played around with a little bit, but I haven't really played around with it enough to really get that good of an idea,
Yeah.
those can save in the USB once you set it up, right? So once you plug it back in, they're all still open there.
Yep.
Do you use those as like here's where I want to start this song, or do you put it a little bit before
No,
and
that's
then
yeah. So basically, the way that I use my hot cues, I use them on um, when the song is going to start, where I'm going to be actually hitting play on that song and slowly bring it up from there. Um, where I'm going to exit a song out and take it out using whatever effect I I'm going to be using. Or if I have any loops down, sometimes I don't really specifically save loops on the songs. I just put a hot cue down where the loop is going to start and where the loop is going to end, so that I know exactly where I want that loop to go.
okay. And so you set up one for that. Do you set up any other hot cues or
That's
not
really
really?
it. Entrance, exit, loops, and once in a while, whenever I get to the end of a track and it's not enough time for me to start the next track because that first track is about to end, and I need extra time for that blend to be smoothly, I'll use one of the hotkeys to let me know, hey, at this point, um, we're going to be dropping back all the way back to the first bass drop of the song. Uh,
Okay.
that's another hotkey that I put down. When to switch over the basses, um, and have that bass drop strong.
Okay.
That's all I use the hotkeys for.
Huh. Yeah, because I haven't really played around with them other than there's one or two songs that I have played around with them on, and I got like six different markers all over the song that are just haphazardly thrown wherever because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's a cool idea to try
Yeah,
and
sure.
use
And
it.
I always use the same colors for each one, so I always know that red means starts. Blue is where I'm going to be entering the next song. Green is where the bass is going to drop. And then lime green and yellow is the entrance and exit for my loops.
Nice. I didn't even know you could change the colors on them yet. All mine are. I just got six green ones in there.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. On my XZ, each one of these has a specific color. Um, so I kind of put them together like that. So it's kind of standard for every single playlist that I have. I know exactly how to read the song.
Nice. That's something I'm gonna have to work on because that's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
What I've been doing right now is pull the song in, decide, throw my headphones on, decide if it's anywhere near where I want it to start, and then beat jump my way through there until I get to wherever I want it to start.
Hey,
But a cue points, man.
that's the best way to play around with and figure out what works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm performing, I have it down so much and I have it practiced and figured out so much that I'm basically just reading the song. I don't even need headphones. I'm just using the headphones to kind of hear my music better.
Yeah.
But I could play all my sets without any headphones because I know exactly where everything's gonna go.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely need some more practice on that, but some cue points I think will make that.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
yeah. I hadn't had that idea of using them for that, so that's cool.
Yeah, great.
So whenever you do have a gig that you're going to, and I guess maybe this is a little bit vibe dependent on the place, but what would you say you're going for when you walk in and start setting up for a gig? Are you hoping to get everybody jumping around and hooting and hollering, or are
Uh,
you looking for more of that groove where just everybody keeps moving the whole time?
would say a combination of both. Combination of both. I love it when people are engaged with the music. I'm one of those people where, I mean, I guess you could look at me whenever I'm mixing. I don't mind. we're all having a great time, but I want people to actually connect with each other.
Yeah.
I want them to just enjoy the vibe, enjoy the groove, move around on that dance floor and just have a great time with their friends or whoever they came with. Because yeah, that's the whole purpose of this. I'm a big supporter of no cell phones on the dance floor.
Nice.
Uh, and yeah, we're all there just for the music.
Nice. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same thought process as you. Is whenever I get to the point where I'm actually up there DJing, y'all quit looking at me. Y'all go do your own thing.
Exactly.
Because I've also always been that type where when I'm out there dancing, I have a terrible habit of end of the night rolls around, whoever I went with goes, "Oh, send me whatever you took." Well, I didn't take my phone out once, so
Yeah,
I got nothing.
exactly.
I'm terrible about that, but I mean, I agree. It puts you way more in the moment of everything, and
For
it
sure.
really immerses yourself in the experience of it all.
Exactly.
So we're kind of getting to the point where I'm running out of questions here, but I got a couple good ones
Yeah.
that I always save up for the end here, kind of close out on a happy note if we can.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I guess we'll start with for if you got to draw your plan out and you got to say here's where I want to go with DJing in the next however many years, where would you like to see this go for yourself?
Um, Honestly, I'm not really sure. I'm just trying to just get better at my skill, make more connections. I love the way that I'm connecting with the community, the way that word is getting out about who I am and how my sound is. So I would say that I would really enjoy putting together a community that can come together regularly to play music as a group. Not necessarily all of us on the stage or anything like that, but maybe having the ability to put together an event, a monthly event at a venue or something like that. Um, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. It could get as big as me playing at different places around the country. We'll see, but for now, my only focus is just getting big here, growing here, connecting with the community here, and for all of us to just have a good time.
Nice. And I also think that that's kind of a good mindset to have is I don't really know where it's going to go because I'm in that same boat. I don't know where this is going to go, and I don't really even know where I want it to end up.
Exactly.
But right now, I'm having a good time. The music's going good. The vibes are right. Like you said, connecting with all these different people's just been a lot of fun. It's really cool to get to hear everybody else's story. So I
Exactly.
agree. It's nice to just kind of say, I'm having a good time. I'm just going to see where it takes me.
Matters. Yeah, I'm just here to have fun. I'm just here to meet people and yeah, just have a blast.
Yeah. So if you had to pick, like in your time DJing, do you have like a favorite moment or interaction that maybe you had with another DJ, a crowd member, anything of the sorts?
See. Definitely enjoyed my time at this bar, the London Bridge, uh, over in Raleigh. Unfortunately, they had to close down for a while, so that production company has now moved the open decks to another venue. Definitely excited about playing over there. I'm going to be playing there next week. It's a rooftop bar over in downtown Raleigh, so definitely a great move. I think it's a great decision for them to stay over at this new venue. But I had a fantastic time playing at London Bridge. I got to meet a lot of the members of the community. Everybody was super supportive, and everybody loved my sound and my music. So I definitely had a really good time that night.
Nice. That's cool. That's good that you got a place like that. A bummer when places shut down and move like that, but sometimes that next place they get set up does way cooler or better than the original one.
Yep.
So that'll be cool to watch.
Yeah.
And then this is going to be kind of one of my last questions that I really have prepared. Every week that I do these interviews, I for my channel, I'm doing a Monday practice session where I practice DJing for about an hour and upload that to
Right.
YouTube. And then we have our interview on Wednesday. And then Friday, I do another practice session. And so what I've been doing is every Wednesday at the end of the interview, I ask whoever I'm interviewing for one thing that, or one skill when it comes to actually using the board that either they feel like they wish they had started to practice sooner or that took them a while to learn that they would like to see me practice in the Friday episode.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
yeah.
have anything, I'd love to get some homework.
Let's see. Lately, I've been hearing a lot of people not really using roll in their songs. So I definitely encourage people to use the roll effect a lot more on their boards just to like build up momentum, kind of add something new to the song that people might not have heard during that moment of the song, and just kind of play around with that. So yeah, if you want to give that a try, that would be great.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. Because that's actually perfect. I took me like 3 weeks to figure out how to even use the effects knob and scroll through the different effects because I was too damn stubborn to Google it. And then finally one day I was recording and I was like, all right, I'm done doing this. I'm gonna figure out how to use it. So I Googled it real quick. But there's so much in there that it's almost too much to all take in at one time or try to even squeeze into an hour worth of music.
Exactly.
And so that's going to give me a really good opportunity to say, I'm using this effect. I'm going to get good at this effect for this episode and see where it goes.
Awesome. Can't
So
wait
that'll
to.
be, yeah, that'll be a good one. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that kind of wraps up, my interview process. Do you have anything else that you want to say to everybody, add to the interview?
Um, Not really. Just basically, if you've just been thinking about giving DJing a try, and you're just kind of deciding, kind of not really sure where to start, uh, just to tell people out there to just take the jump and just give it a try, and you never know where it could take you.
Nice. I agree. Got to make the jump.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much for being a part of this and being willing to let me hit you with a bunch of questions. And it was really cool to get to hear your story of becoming a DJ, being a DJ, and kind of what that looks like on the business side also. So thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'll make sure everybody go check the link or what is it called? The description of the video. I will have links to all of his stuff in the description of the video. So
Sounds good.
thank you again very much for being here. Everybody go follow Reefbum. And that'll be it for
Uh,
this week.
Appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Everybody.